Megan Fox.
Yeah, Megan Fox has the story.
Megan Fox.
Megan Fox.
Megan Fox writes at PJ Media.
Eat Tucker.
That was your last.
Damn it, man. I cried for 2 days.
Megan, thank you very much for that.
So, I can explain the bed thing.
If you don't show up and vote, up your ass. I don't care if you're in the hospital. Crawl to the stake. Crawl there.
It's like Jesus going into the temple. He's like, I got a whip. Get out. Get out.
The lovely and wonderful Megan Fox. Not that one.
Not that one. Not the weird one that drinks blood in his toe thumb.
Megan Fox.
Megan. And honestly, Megan, if you don't like it, I'm sorry.
She's the devil.
Megan.
Megan Fox.
Megan.
Megan Fox.
I've been very nice to you, although I could probably maybe not be based on the way you have treated me, but I wouldn't do that.
You've never met a like me. You want to tangle? You want to go? Holy sh!
Too much cussing on this. I guess we didn't bleep it, so we got to turn it off. But it's.
You pissed off the wrong woman.
Oh my God! I have been assaulted when Megan Fox runs wild on you, brother.
She's the devil. Not for publication.
The story.
I'm Megan.
Megan.
Megan Fox. Thank you. Cheers.
Well. Welcome back to the show. I'm Megan Fox, and this is my channel where we do medium smart commentary. I am a journalist, a broadcaster, an author, and this story that I have been covering relentlessly, Clayton Echard v. Laura Owens, there are some updates, and shockingly, Clayton Echard may be turning on me. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure what I did, but there seems to be some unspoken frustration happening. However, we're going to get to that in his new, and you know, it's typical. This would not be the first time that I've helped someone and they turned on me. Now, he has not said so by name, but you'll see. You'll get the inference. If you will. MG Law, well, that's a twist. It's a fun twist. Yeah, well, it wouldn't be the first time. It wouldn't be the first time because some people don't really want my help because of the woke bullshit we live in. Because they have been convinced, you know, by other people and by the prevailing narrative that there are black and white people, that there's white and I don't mean by skin color. I mean, okay, that came out wrong. It's like how narcissists view the world, that people are either all good or all bad. And if you get stuck into the bad category, you're bad no matter what you do. And, you know, it's we don't want to associate with the bad people, even if the bad people are helping you, even if the bad people get the message out there in a way that None of the other people could or did or would, especially those bachelor people. Are you now she who shall not be named? Well, maybe. But you know what? Let me just say, regardless, if that is the case, and I'm not saying that it is, I'm just saying that I have a feeling about it, and I think we have some clues about it. If that is the case, and Clayton Echard is not grateful for the help that we've given him here, that wouldn't matter to me. Because like I have told you many times, victims' politics and victims' opinions on things that disagree with mine don't mean anything to me. That means nothing to me. That doesn't mean that I would withhold my help from someone. I would never withhold my help from a cause that required my help because someone disagreed with politics or bullshit. I just don't. Because I think a victim is a victim, regardless of who they voted for, regardless of who what their politics are. Like I've said before, I don't even care if they're a commie. I would still help. Well, maybe no commies. Maybe I should draw the line at commies. I don't know. But I have helped a whole lot of people whose politics don't agree with mine, and I've never thought twice about it. Never. Shady says, when do we ride? Listen, Clayton's been through enough. He's been through enough. I'm not going to give him very heavy criticism, but I'm going to criticize what I see that I find to be, silly. This is part of the reason. This is one of the reasons why I have made a push to make Americans friends again. Because the division in this country, based on how people think, is absurd. It's absurd. We can still be friends. We can disagree on taxes and social issues and all sorts of things, and we can still be friends. We can still go get a beer together. We can still advocate for one another. We can. In fact, I think it's always more interesting. I always think it's more interesting when people do not agree. I think that leads to the best conversations. Oh, and by the way, coming up in March, I just got an invitation from Making Law Simple to do a Lego stream with him. I'm totally going to do it. I'm bad at Legos because I was like, are you going to teach me how to build Legos? Because my son would really appreciate that because I'm very, very bad at it. So they're going to teach me how to follow directions and build a Lego set. All right, hold on. I actually have to respond to him. Okay. All right. So I'm going to do that in March, and that's going to be fun. And you're going to watch me fail building Legos with MLS. And who else was going to be there? He said somebody else. Oh, Valhalla. Valhalla Awaits will be there too. So that'll be fun. I haven't hung out with him in a while, so that will be fun. How did he indicate his dislike of you? Well, we're going to watch it. So, and maybe I'm being too sensitive. Maybe he's not talking about me, but I doubt it. I don't know anybody else that fits the description he's talking about. What set are we going to do? We have not picked a Lego set yet. Something like, I think they said it would be like a 400-piece set or something. I think I have to buy them. Yeah, I'm bad at following directions. The one thing I really want to learn how to do, though, is build without directions. Like, I think I could follow directions, although I was never good at it as a kid. But I think that I would benefit more from learning how to build without directions, but I don't think that's what they do. But my son would appreciate that. Duncan, Idaho says, you want to tangle? You want to go? I'm not going to get into a tangle with Clayton Echard, but I am going to mom-splain some things to him. The mom-splaining will happen. And MG Law said, did he say there's this medium smart journalist out there saying things about me? Almost. Okay. Poor Clayton. All right. So We do have an update, though, in Dave Neal's case. That case is over. Dave has signed a settlement agreement with Laura Owens. So she's dropping her harassment claim. I don't know the details of that settlement other than I believe her stipulation was that he not encourage violence against her, which is bizarre because he never did in the first place. So I'm a little concerned that she will now use that to say, see, he was harassing me. See, I had to make him sign this thing that said he would stop encouraging people to commit violence against me. Like, when did you stop beating your wife kind of thing? So I'm a little concerned. And I don't believe she's paying for any of his fees and stuff, but you could probably get the update better on Dave's channel for that. There is new audio as well of Jane. I keep calling her Jane in my head because everyone called her Jane Doe for so long. There's new audio of Laura Owens and her mother, which we are going to get to. The big question we have been asking ourselves is, are her parents aware of the type of terrible things she's doing to these men in her life? And it's become very hard, like, to imagine that her parents are aware and just allowing it to happen. But now there's actual evidence that not only are her parents aware, or at least one of them, her mother is aware, but her mother appears to be helping her to do this. And that is a really uncomfortable new piece of information, because now I'm like, does the whole family have a mental disorder? I don't know, but I'm shocked by what I've learned. So let's get into it. The first thing we're going to do, and by the way, Locals has a live chat going. How are you over there, Locals? MeganFox.locals.com. You guys are so awesome. We are almost at my goal of 500 new supporters on Locals. I am 91 or 92% of the way there. Locals has become so awesome. I am so glad every day that I signed up on Locals and created this fun community over there in a no censorship place. You know, that's important for me. I didn't do Patreon. I didn't do these other, woke places that will delete you. I went to Locals because Locals is owned by the same people who own Rumble, and they have made a promise to us that they will never delete us based on the things that we say. And free speech is king at Locals. And Locals has made such an awesome place for us to get together and be a community that can speak our minds. And that's important to me, and it's important to our audience. I say the things that you think. I say the things you think and don't say out loud. And sometimes I pay the price for that. In fact, there's some real fun going on Twitter yesterday and today. Poor Ian Runkle is being attacked for things that I said. And I'm not sure why, because Ian hasn't said a damn thing. But apparently, of all the things, you guys are going to have to create a new bingo card. A bingo card of how I'm going to get canceled. Of all the things that I could be canceled for, vampire jokes was not on my bingo card. Was not there. And apparently there are some people, and not very many, so it's not like a big deal, but there are some people who are very upset that I had the nerve to comment on the vampire aesthetic of the crumbly juror. But I mean, that's what she was going for, right? Wasn't she going for that look? She's wearing fangs. She's wearing fangs. Was I not supposed to notice? Somebody on Twitter said, big vampire is coming for me. Was I not supposed to notice that woman was dressed up like a vampire? Because she was. And anyway, it was really a criticism of Shannon Smith for allowing her on the jury, because I don't think that's juror selection is a big deal. Anyway, I'm getting off topic, but I mean, come on. You went on in front of the cameras dressed up like a vampire. Is no one supposed to notice and tell mild jokes about it? Well, out of him, Putin says it sucks to be her. That's a good double entendre. Megan Fox doesn't like women. Yes, I'm very misogynistic here. It's very anti-woman, this channel. Yes, very anti-woman. I mean, I would not categorize telling vampire jokes about a woman who literally dresses up like a vampire. I would not categorize that as an attack on a juror. Okay, and if you want to witness an attack on a juror, you watch what J Hatch did to juror number 1. And we mocked him too, mildly. We had some mild mockery. We called him the tiger juror. And we said he had the opposite of Hair Island. We had Judge Carroll that had the Hair Island, and then the juror had nothing there but hair around and like it's spiky. And we made some mild fun. We had some mild fun. Calm down, everyone. Calm down. She wasn't dressed like a vampire. Yes, she was. Well, her face and makeup and stuff was. She was literally wearing vampire teeth. She was wearing implants, you guys. Right here. She was wearing fangs. Which trial is the vampire in? Jennifer Crumbly. Jennifer Crumbly. Yeah, she was dressed in black and wearing bright red lipstick with fangs, with white skin. Like, I don't know if she put powder on there, but like, come on. Come on. Oh, you want a picture? Okay, hold on. Locals, where are your memes? Locals, pull up the memes. Pull up the vampire memes quickly. Quickly, locals. They want a picture. Oh, they're not currently there. Where's my picture? I do have screenshots of her somewhere. Let me see. Hold on. All right, I guess I'll go over to my Twitter page because I have a picture over there. Come on now. Now here's the first one. Are you going to tell me that this person does not look like a vampire? Who is going to be the person to tell me this is not a vampire? Shut up. Come on now. Come on. And look. Look at her teeth. She's wearing fangs. I'm just supposed to not pay attention. And this, I found these on Etsy. I think this is the kind of thing she's wearing. They're prosthetic teeth. They're a cat aesthetic. Come on now. She is as white as snow. And then I made this. I thought that this thumbnail was like the funniest thing I ever did. I laughed so hard when I did it. I made this thumbnail, and this is attacking a juror. Come on. This is mild. Yeah, MG Law, thank you for pointing that out. She immediately left the courtroom for New York. You can't tell me there was no planning involved in that verdict. She walked out of the courtroom, gave a perfect, like an interview right then to the cameras, and then got on a plane and flew to New York to do the Today Show. She put herself in the public, dressed like that, like looking like this, and I'm supposed to not notice? Do you guys not know me very well? Do you not know me by now? You can't put someone like this in front of me. You can't. And have me not say anything. You can't. You know, of all the people, and I laugh out loud when people do it to me. So I'm perfectly happy with people mocking me for whatever reason. If it's funny, I will laugh. I mean, for God's sake, I put medium smart in my bio. That was supposed to be an insult. It is now in my bio. I have a good sense of humor about the absurdities about myself. So I am allowed to point out the absurdities onto other people because it's funny. Everybody needs to laugh, okay? Nobody made her talk to the cameras. Thank you, MG. And also, I was really just giving criticism to the defense attorney for not striking her as a juror in the beginning, because you can't tell me she didn't go to jury selection looking like this, because she did. She's got a nose ring and fangs. And the defense attorney was like, okay, she's good. Shannon, what are you thinking? For this trial, you needed conservatives, you needed gun owners, you needed older parents with teens. You did not need a 26-year-old vampire club kid. And I'm sure she's fun. Also, she left her Facebook page open, and it's fine. There's nothing bad on it. I'm not gonna go over it. We don't need to like get into her life or whatever. But she's super into Lana Del Rey poetry. Like, these are things, though, that were open to the defense attorney. Like, the defense attorney could have gone into her Facebook page. Like, that's what they do. They investigate jurors. And she had a big trans flag, or not the trans flag. The rainbow flag that they destroyed with the trans thing on it. So now it looks really crazy. It's not just the rainbow. It's like all this other shit too. She's got that on her Facebook page. Come on. I could go with a rainbow flag, but if you get one of those new ones with all the stupid shit they stick on it, no, you're not grown up enough to be on a jury if you've got that on your Facebook page. Ellie Fat says, blood bigots everywhere. All right, so Ian is being attacked. Ian Runkle is being attacked because he said he didn't think she should have made it on the jury either. And now this person is like equating my comments about her to Ian. And Ian never said anything about her looking like a vampire. He just said, maybe this isn't the kind of person you should put on a jury. Yeah, it appears that the defense didn't do any juror research. Or if they did, oh, thank you, the progress flag. Yes, that's what I meant. That's what it is. Apparently they didn't, because if they did, they really easily should have seen that this person is serious. Like, this is just not, I'm sure she's perfectly fun at parties. In fact, I would invite her to a party. She looks fun. I'm sure she's a good, nice person. She seems educated. She's got, she's into poetry. I like poetry. But this might not be the right pick. Let's just say that might not be the right pick for a jury for this particular case. Okay. And that's all I was saying. And I'm allowed to notice if someone is literally wearing fangs. And if you are going to be someone out there who's like, you should stop judging people. You're being too judgy. And why are you attacking a juror? It's not attacking her to say, why is she wearing fangs in a court of law? And why did the defense attorney pick someone who wears fangs? Poetry fans are always a big hit at parties, Megan. Well, she does look kind of fun. View Galaxy says, I just want to know how she became the 4-person. I don't know. I think they vote for a 4-person, so maybe she's just really personable. Yes, she was the Twilight 4-person. Yes. My inner goth girl loves her look. Yeah, I mean, it's a bold look. And believe me, she does not do it so that people don't notice. She is not trying to go under the radar. She likes the attention. It's why she dresses that way. It's why she does her makeup that way. And I don't think that she would be at all offended by people saying, hey, you kind of look like a vampire. She's probably going to be like, yeah, that's my aesthetic. Duh. Come on. I did not think that I was going to get people threatening to leave my locals because of vampire jokes. But actually, I think that person who said that was never in locals in the first place, because my locals peeps are not like that. They think it's hilarious. Oh, because locals is busy doing this. Look, she was the first thing to make this trial any fun. The juror has finally made something funny about the Crumbly trial. New Disney character, Vampire Snow White. I love it. I love it. Let's do it. Let's submit it. Let's submit it to Disney for an idea. They're having trouble right now anyway. They could use some new ideas. Yeah, screams, look at me with my attire. Why are you looking at me? Yes. Oh, Lord. Okay, let's get to the Clayton Echard thing, because that's why what you're all here for. You're not here to listen to me complain about what people are saying about me on Twitter. Oh, my God. When the invite says 4-person, but you have a lifestyle to maintain. This is so good. Nicholas Starro, thanks for being here. Everybody go subscribe to Nicholas and MG Law, by the way. Subscribe to their channels. I can bet good money she will write a book. Probably. And that's her right. She can write a book. Haley Wolf says, Megan, you could talk about jack shit and I'd still be here. Oh, good. Yay. Yeah, if you want your privacy and you don't want anyone commenting on you or your look or whatever, you don't go on television directly after. No one made her go on television and give an interview. No one. And then the things she said raised a lot of questions for me and a lot of other people. Nicholas, and I will buy that book. Me too. I'm sorry, you guys, but if I'm Kelly, good point. We listened to you about your hair. If I am going to get canceled, it's not going to be because of stupid shit like this. It will be much worse. Trust me. It will be much worse. I have survived bullying the entire month of June. I survived it, bitches, and I will survive Vampire Gate too. Sandy B, thanks for the super chat, says, hi, Megan. I sent you some things to read in your email. I'd appreciate if you could look it over and read it and give me your opinion. Okay. Was that this morning? Because I didn't see anything yesterday, but I'll make sure that I check. I do have a lot of emails. Sometimes stuff gets lost, but I will go look. Cherry Pow Pow. So I like your name, Cherry Pow Pow. That's fun to say. We still love you, Megan. Oh, I love you too. Look, if you're the kind of person who gets offended at mild vampire jokes, you should not be here. I'm protecting you by telling you, leave now. Get out while you can, because there's so much worse that happens here. MG Law says her statement made it clear she didn't pay attention. There was no evidence that Jennifer was the last one with a gun. Thank you. Thank you. I mean, and I'm sorry, one of the criticisms was, you said people shouldn't attack jurors because of what they did to juror number one. And you're only saying this because you don't like the result of the jury verdict. If juror number one was on a different jury that had voted against Maya Kowalski, I would have had a lot of criticism for them. But I don't have any criticism for them because they came to the right conclusion. When a jury comes to the wrong conclusion, and then they make it clear that they came to that conclusion based on not paying attention, not having the right facts, or inferring things they shouldn't have inferred, I'm sure she's going to say something. I'm going to say something about it. And this is America, so luckily we can say that. Paranoia, thank you for the super chat. Says, Megan, are we watching James's trial on March 5th, or are we afraid of another jury Dracula 2 asking for a friend? I'm probably going to get sucked into it. Probably. Let's take things as they go. I'm not sure, but we'll see. Arian the Vegetarian says, I almost didn't watch this stream because I'm not very interested in the Tonsil twins, but then I remembered it's Megan and would be all the fun anyway. That's true. It's always a good time here. You never know what's going to happen. Oh, God. There's people getting offended. There's about vampires. No, Anne, stop it. Stop it. Anne Circuit says there was a juror that dressed like Star Trek that was allowed on a jury, totally dressed like the Next Generation. No freaking way. That's so crazy and weird. Yeah, be offended. I don't care. If you're offended, you don't belong here. You're not going to like it here. It's going to trigger you. This whole thing is going to trigger you. So leave now. Oh, God. Yeah, how can you not be interested in the Tonsil twins? I know. Ellie says, Megan, you're only medium offensive. Oh, God. Lois Thomas says, can we talk about hair? No, I don't think the chat would appreciate that right now. But how did she get picked as a four-person? The jurors vote for the four-person, I think. So just imagine there were men who voted for her to be the four-person. Oh. Is she the vampire that J Hatch let out? Possibly. Possibly. All right, but truthfully, you do not get to get on camera, be interviewed as a jury in a very high-profile case, and then get offended or get pissed off. And people shouldn't get pissed off when people say, hey, that was kind of weird. She's kind of weird. Or I didn't like what she said. Or why does she look like a vampire? Of all the things, you know, J Hatch went after juror number one Like, they dug into his past. They dug into his court cases. You don't see me doing that. You don't see me digging into this woman's criminal history or whatever. I'm not doing that. I just was like, look, she's wearing fangs. Aha. Give it up, you guys. It's so stupid. I'm allowed to notice that she wears fangs. She literally does wear fangs. If you don't have anything nice to say, come sit by me. That's exactly it. Good Lord. I just cannot even believe that some people are getting offended. And my comments, the comment section on yesterday's stream in YouTube is hilarious. There are some people getting so pearl clutchy about the thumbnail. And I mean, of all the things I've ever done, I did not have this on the radar that this would be the thing. Seriously, I did not have this on my bingo card. Arian the Vegetarian says, Megan, I rewatched the Give It a Whirl stream the other night, and your meltdown had my face wet with tears in my pants. Well, I'll just leave it at that. That was a great stream on Jeff's legal vices. That was so funny. All right. Let's get over to Clayton Echard, shall we? Oh, why did I close it down? That was dumb. All right, so I am at 457 of 500 new supporters on Locals. So thank you so much to those of you who signed up recently. I know I have a lot of new members that just signed up, and you're getting used to navigating Locals, and it's a lot of fun over there. So after today's stream, I'll be flipping over to Locals for a members only. And also, I hit 100 members on YouTube. Woohoo! 100 members on YouTube. So I'm actually going to do a members only. I'll do the members only Locals and members only YouTube stream directly after this to encourage the listener support that I have received. I really appreciate you guys. I really appreciate you so much. And if you want to join Locals, do that. I recommend Locals over YouTube for memberships because there's a lot more going on over at Locals. I try to keep up with some members only stuff on YouTube, but some of you just prefer to pay YouTube instead. But Locals is great. Locals is fun. And we do art streams over there, cooking streams. I teach you how to make dog food that my dog absolutely loves. I do chicken streams sometimes where I show you guys around the chicken coop. We got to do another one of those soon. Today, we'll be doing more podcast work for my new podcast. And I think I have a name for it. And it was a new local subscriber who came up with it. And it absolutely encompasses everything I wanted. And when I saw it, I was like, that's it. And so the new podcast is going to be called The Fox Den Daily. And it's going to be basically a wrap up of everything we do here in a tight, compacted 25 to 30 minute podcast that will be on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, all the places. And so I want to say thank you to my new Locals member who came up with that terrific name, because that was absolutely perfect. So what did Clayton say? We're getting to it. All right. Yeah, King Bob says, I can't watch Locals on my TV. We have talked to Locals about that. I think they are working on it, but let me make a note to talk to my Locals person about that. Locals on TV, because I do believe that was something they were talking about. So I'll get back to you on that. You know, Locals is kind of a newer application. And so they are always doing things to update and improve. So you just it's like Rumble, you just got to hang in there, be patient. But I would much rather we support Locals than Patreon that, deletes people. All right. Mazza, thanks for the super chat, says, oh my God, jurors should have spoken like Sesame Street Dracula. 1 count of involuntary manslaughter, 2 counts, 3 counts. I agree. So funny. I love it. All right. I'm trying to find, I accidentally closed down the thing. So anyway, if you want to join Locals, the new promo code is Council Twins for 2 free months when you sign up for a year. It is less than 1 Starbucks large latte a month. It is $5 a month. It is so cheap. It is, everybody who's on there says it's the best $5 a month they spend. So it's worth it. And if you want to try it out for a free month, you can sign up monthly and use Maya as a promo code, and you'll get your first month for free. And if for some reason you decide you don't want to, you don't like it, well, you can cancel, and that's okay with me. But I think you will like it. We have a live chat going in there every day. We have a really fun community. We have meme farmers and memes, and everybody in there is so supportive and so fun. And we just have a good time. It's a good time. Make sure you hit that like. Make sure you hit subscribe. I am headed to 30,000 subscribers on YouTube. Woohoo! I hit 30,000 on Twitter. And that was cool because I had been hovering just at 29,000 for like an entire year. So it appears that I'm growing over there as well, which is terrific. Okay, I'm finding, where's my history on YouTube? I've got some timestamps that we've got to play from this. He went on this podcast. Clayton Echard went on a podcast. Here he is. The Unplanned Podcast. I have put the link to the full interview in the description of this live stream. I'm not going to play the full thing because it is really long. However, we do hear things that we haven't heard before. So he does get into some stuff we didn't hear on the Nick Viall podcast. I still am confused as to why Clayton has not gone on with Dave. Why does he keep giving other people interviews and not Dave? Listen, Clayton, if you're listening to this, I think you're a decent dude, but your loyalty needs some work, because Dave Neal has not only taken the heat, he has been sued for you. He has been sued for you. Whoever this guy is, he has not been sued for you, Clayton. You know, Dave's in this with you. And during this, I don't have the timestamp, but during this interview, Clayton doesn't say Dave's name again. He says a podcaster. Nick Viall called Dave Neal some podcaster, and Dave has now spun it into merch that says some podcaster, which is hilarious. And I don't know why the hell, why is Dave the guy you can't name? Why is Dave Neal becoming Voldemort in this story? Clayton, you owe Dave a lot more than you owe any of these people. And I understand that they have bigger podcasts or whatever, but you need to go on with Dave Neal. Now, this is coming from me. It's not coming from Dave. Dave's a super sweet guy. And he's like, I get it. I understand, whatever. But it's the right thing to do. And Dave's done a lot for you. So I do want to see you go on with Dave. I know you're never going to come on this show, probably, especially after what we hear here today. And that's okay. I will still back you in this because you are the victim and you are right. But for God's sake, Dave Neal helped you get a lawyer. He helped you pay for a lawyer. Without Dave Neal, you would not have a lawyer. So please stop calling him a podcaster. Please start calling him by his name. And please go on to his show, because this is just, I'm starting to get annoyed now with Clayton. I don't know if it's ungratefulness, Melanie. I don't think that's it. I think Clayton is very grateful for the support that he's gotten, but I think that he's maybe he's not even medium smart. I think that's what it is. I think it's more of, and so maybe he needs to hear some mom-splaining from me. I'm going to give you some mom shaming here, Clayton. You owe Dave Neal an interview. So get on over there, call Dave, apologize for not doing it sooner, and get on the show. Because I'm tired. I'm getting tired of this. All right. First clip. Here we go. Oh.
And first of all, I'm so sorry that you've gone through what you've been through. I have friends of ours who had a similar situation with an adoption scam. Seeing them go through that broke my heart. And so hearing about another similar situation where someone is really trying to ruin someone else's life, I mean, that's just something that I've never personally experienced, and I just can't imagine what that's like. So first off, yeah, I'm just so sorry.
Well, I appreciate your condolences, but I want to say, don't feel bad for me, because it is exactly what I believe was meant for me. And I think it was one of the best things that ever happened to me.
Whoa. What? Wait, what, Clayton? I appreciate that Clayton is trying to take this. He's trying to take something that was extremely traumatic and turn it into something positive. And I do understand the things were meant to happen for a reason state of mind. I think that is probably helpful to you instead of look at the chat. Say what? WTF? What? Weird. Okay. I think this is how he has to process it. Yeah, Melanie. Yeah, this is a problem. Clayton, stop talking. That comment will not sit well in the defamation case. Yeah, I actually don't think he means this. I think this is something that he needs to tell himself in order to get through this. We will keep playing it. I will put context in here. He basically is like, because it forced me to grow. But be careful, Clayton, because, you do have a defamation case that you might want to file. And you do not want to give her evidence that you were not harmed by her in any way. And we know that that's not true. We know that you were harmed. You were harmed. Yeah, takes the high road, falls off a cliff. Yeah. I understand that he wants to turn something bad into something positive for him. But I don't think this is the time for that. Yeah, I know that Nick edited out Dave's name on the Nick Vile show, but on this one, there was no edit. He literally just said a podcaster. There was no edit on this one. So he chose in this one not to say Dave's name for whatever reason. Yeah, defamation out the window. It didn't hurt. It helped. No, Clayton, no. For one, I don't believe you. This did not help you in any way. She defamed your character. You got dragged through the mud for months. And you'll see later that he had some serious repercussions from what was done. Never say this kind of stuff out loud when you have a defamation trial or a defamation case you want to bring.
It really, as I've digested it, it has forced growth because it was traumatic. It's been traumatic, but trauma to me, it has a negative stigma attached to it. You hear trauma and you think it's nothing but bad, but trauma creates uncomfortable environments, and through discomfort, growth comes. I have grown so much as a human being by being placed in that environment.
Okay, I can believe that, but also, wouldn't you rather have avoided the trauma? I mean, you didn't have a choice. You were traumatized by this woman, so your only choice was to either be destroyed or grow. So I understand what he's saying, but don't give her an out. Don't give her an out to have done this trauma to you. And actually, there are several times in this interview where he gives her excuses for what she has done. And I don't understand this kind of, but you have to understand that Clayton Echard is into mental health as his platform. It always has been. So we have to expect some kind of psychobabble is going to come out through this. Trauma is also traumatic, says Jingleberry. Yeah. And I mean, if this is the way he's had to deal with it, like, and process it, he has the right to do that. But yeah, stupid life coach babble, which can also be kind of damaging. Like, you don't need trauma to grow. Trauma does not make a person grow healthier. And I think that's kind of dangerous. That's like a dangerous thing to say, like, oh, don't worry if you're traumatized, you'll grow. Some people don't. Some people are destroyed. Some people end their lives after trauma like this. So, is he transitioning into a werewolf? He got a perm. That's how much trauma this man has had. He was so traumatized by Laura Owens, the man got a perm. If that's not enough evidence for a jury that he deserves a defamation verdict in his favor, I don't know what that she made him get a perm. Poor dude. So oh God. All right. Let's move on.
that I'm so grateful now for the person I've become, because I've learned a lot of valuable life lessons through this.
The person he's become is a dude with a mullet that has a permed mullet. Just kidding. We love you. We love you, Clayton. You're keep going.
Situation. And I think the single greatest lesson that I've learned through it, it's the power of presence.
Where exactly does this story start? Because
okay, when he first said that the greatest lesson he's learned was the power of presence, I was like, I don't know what that means. But later on in this interview, he does explain it more. And actually, I thought it was really good advice. And I don't have the I don't have the timestamp on that, but I'll just paraphrase what it was he meant by that. Because at first I was like, what is that psychobabble? And I don't understand it. What he meant by the power of presence was that when he was going through it really bad, he was able to and taught himself how to just face one thing at a time that day, whatever that thing was that she was throwing at him, because she threw so much at him all at once, that he would face the one thing and move on with his day, and then face the next thing and move on with his day, just trying to be present in the moment. And I do think that that's a good advice. I think that's really good advice for when you're going through something like this. You cannot sit around and worry about things you can't control. You cannot worry about what is she going to do tomorrow. And I do think that made sense to me. That was like, that's good that he did. That is helpful. I think that is helpful when you're going through anything traumatic, whether it's a loved one in a hospital, whether you can only do what you can do right now, this very moment. And if there's nothing you can do about the situation, you have to let it go until you're back in that, until you're back there and there's something you can do. So I did appreciate that. Let's see. Wait. Where somebody had something. Here. Femme Natal says, Clayton is super hot, even with the permed mullet. Mullets are coming back. My son wants a mullet. And my husband was like, no, you're not. No way. And I was like, well, it's his hair and all the kids are doing it. So just leave him alone. Let him get a mullet. He's 9, like hair. We can change it. I mean, everybody, when we were kids, everybody had a mullet. It'll be fine. A permullet. It's called a permullet. What's a mullet? You must be young. It's a party a business in the front, party in the back. It's basically what you're seeing it's the haircut that Clayton has. Short, like high and tight in the front, and then like crazy in the back, long. In Australia and New Zealand, the mullets never left? Really? That's interesting. That's very interesting. Yeah. A Sunflower Day says, no thank you to trauma. One of the best life lessons I've learned was watching my sister go through something that also made me grow. So no, you can learn this lesson without having it done to you. Right. But he didn't have a choice. He didn't have a choice. So he has to deal with it however he has to deal with it. And so I can respect that he believes that he's grown through it. But I think saying it's the best thing that happened to you was too far. Please remember, Clayton, if you want to sue her for defamation, be careful what you say in public about this experience. Because according to the jury, this is it needs to be the worst thing that ever happened to you, not the best thing that ever happened to you. Words do matter. But I think the only reason why he said it was because, or why he thinks that, is because he has to. He has to turn it into something positive because he went through some really, really dark shit. And we're going to get to that very soon. All right. The next timestamp I have is, we can finish listening to that. Let's see if the next question is interesting.
From what I understand, it didn't just happen over a couple of days or a couple of weeks. Like this is months long, drawn out. So where does this story begin?
Well, I'd say the starting point was May 20th, 2023. Yeah, we're in 2024 right now, right? I always forget my years.
Just a little
about a year ago.
Almost a year ago.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. It's been a long time coming, but that day was the day that I was intimate with this individual.
Okay.
And that,
all right.
Then they had reached out to me.
Then he goes through the story, which we've already heard is pretty much the same story that he does on the Nick Viall, that he told on the Nick Viall podcast. So we're gonna skip past that. We're going to go to our next timestamp, which would be, this is just a funny moment that I cracked up because at first I didn't know who he was talking about. And then I figured it out, and I have a question for the chat. So let's go to right here.
Again, well, I wasn't willing to wait any longer. So because I know I was like, she's gonna keep dragging this out. It's gonna come back a little to no field in a second time and a third time and however long. So I decided to go out on my social media and basically like I decided to be a little boisterous, but I wanted to come out with confidence so that people wouldn't question whether or not I believed it. Yeah. So I came out overconfident. Again, I had my Mari moment, not proud of it, but I felt like I had to do it. So I had
a Mari, he goes, yeah, I had a Mari moment. And I was like, a Mari? What's a Mari moment? And then I realized what he was talking about.
Is that, by the way, Mari moment?
Like Mari Popovich, I don't know his last.
Povich. It's Povich, Clayton. All these people are so young. All these kids are so young. They don't know who Maury Povich is. But who says Mari? Mari? Isn't it Maury? Maury? Isn't that how you say that? Or have I been saying it wrong all these years? Is it Maury? I thought it was Maury Povich, not. So he said Mari, and I'm like, who's Mari? But yeah, these kids are so young. It just made me feel old. It just made me feel old that he doesn't even know Maury's last name.
Last name is, but like, you are not the father. That show.
Oh, like, I've heard of that show.
Father. Yeah,
yes.
Yeah. So.
Oh, I've heard of that show. Says the other child on the podcast. We're old, folks. We're old. Oh my God, it's so weird to be the same age as old people. It's so weird to be saying the things that my parents would say. Like, you don't know this? How do you not know who so and so is? I think my dad did that to me with that character, and now I'm not going to remember his name. But there was this. Yeah, we are old. There was this cartoon back when he was a kid where people would put this little guy with the nose hanging over everything. And I forgot what it was called, but it was everywhere. And I had never heard of it. And my dad was like, what? You've never heard of such and such? And I was like, no, I'm just not that old, I guess. And now I'm doing it to these guys. Like, what do you mean you don't know Maury Povich? They're babies. Which also... God, I don't know how old Clayton is. I think he's like 30. I think he's just 30 or 30, 31, 32, right? Kilroy. Thank you, Melanie. That was, yep, Kilroy. I didn't know who Kilroy was. My dad was horrified by that. Kilroy was here. Exactly. But yeah, I mean, and even, well, I'm headed towards 50. So there's a pretty big age difference between me and these guys. But it's just funny. It made me feel really old that neither one of them was that familiar with the Maury Povich show.
His name was Maury. And so
it's Maury.
I had that moment where I came out with this video and I was like, guess what? Good news. Test came back, little to no field DNA. Let's go.
And were you like, I am not the father? What did you say?
Yeah, basically, I was very particular to make sure I wasn't mincing words, and I said exactly what I was told over the phone. It came back as little to no fetal DNA. I made sure not to say she's not pregnant, but I was like, I'm going to say exactly what was said to me because I know she's going to try to sue me for whatever. Yeah. So, but you can't sue me for the facts. You can only sue me if I say something that's incorrect or false, which I have not said anything that's nothing. Everything I've said is factual. So I was like, I have to be very particular. And so I said little to no fetal DNA is what the test came back, which is true. And, you know, a lot of people didn't like the way I approached it. They're like, this is insensitive, but they didn't have the full story. They're like, oh, this is insensitive. There's going to be a kid that's going to be born one day and see how happy this guy was to not be his father. But I was like, no, you all, again, I was like, there's new audiences coming in at all times. I was like, there are no kids. You all don't understand that. And I get it.
Were you telling people that? Like, were people aware of the fact that there's a stipulation that you had to date her for all this to go away? Were you actually like telling her lawyer that, or were you telling social media that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I had conversations with her lawyers.
Hey, we want to know who in the chat, what generation are you? Put your generation in the chat. I'm Gen X, and we think that most of us are probably Gen X or boomers in the chat. And so far that's happening. It's mostly Gen X and some boomers. Oh, some older millennials. Interesting. Gen X. Okay, so this is fun. Locals, I want to see locals. You can do it too. I want to see Who in my locals? What's your generation? Gen X, I found out that I didn't know this. Compared to the millennials, Gen X is dwarfed by millennials. Millennials are a very large, so Gen X is sandwiched in between two huge generations, the boomers and the millennials. And Gen X is just not represented very, very often in our society, actually, because we are a smaller generation. And I think that's one of the reasons why we feel so disaffected a lot by so much going on, because our government and everything is not run by Gen X. It's run by boomers and millennials now. And we got left out. Like Gen X never had their moment because we got dwarfed by two bigger generations, the boomers who won't let go of the power and control, and the millennials who just overwhelm us in number. And holy crap, it's hard for us. That's why we look around and we're like, the fuck is going on? Why is everyone so weird? Why is everyone so nuts? Because those of us who are from Gen X, who all like, we have kind of similar opinions on things. And we're very independent. We were latchkey kids. We can take care of ourselves. We're very, we're not into like the nanny state and all this other stuff. And all these people around us are so opposite from us. We came from a generation that was not coddled. We were not supervised. We were wild. We were wild. And it's funny how I think that's part of our problem. I think that's part of why we look around at the world and how it is, at our country and how it's being run, and we don't understand it. And we're like, who are these people and why are they so nuts? It's because Gen X got left out totally. Where none of us are in charge. We're just back here like, okay, I guess. Yeah, we grew up feral, is right. We came from the generation of lawn darts. It's true. Our playgrounds were made out of metal, sharp metal, sharp. Swear to God, in the summer, this one slide we used to go down at it was so hot that if you didn't have pants on, you would get second-degree burns on the back of your legs, and nobody cared. Nobody was like, we should tear down that slide. It's hurting our kids. Our parents would just be like, put your pants on. Why are you going on the hot slide without pants on? And then we had the thing we had this rust-covered metal, this thing, the thing that spins? The thing that you spin around, you run and you push it and you jump on and it makes you throw up eventually. That thing was so rusty, and like kids would fall off and get cut on it all the time. And our parents would just be like, yeah, we'll get you a tetanus shot. Nobody fixed it. No one fixed it. The merry-go-round. I don't remember what we called that. It wasn't really a merry-go-round. It was like the little, I don't know what you call it. Your pants would get caught in the bike chains. Oh, yeah. We had a rusted car in our playground and no one cared. No helmets, no supervision, nothing, which is probably why we were very, Gen X was funny during COVID lockdowns because for one, we were kind of fine with it because we're fine with being alone. but we were also like, we don't get it because all the nannying was too much for us to take. Like we were unsupervised. We didn't have supervision. Our parents kicked us out of the house in the beginning of the day in the summer and said, don't come back until the lights are on. And that was it. We drank out of garden hoses and ran through other people's backyards and hung. And our parents never knew where we were. And we knew we were going to survive the COVID thing because we've survived everything. We've survived rusty playgrounds and lawn darts. So we didn't understand all the panic, and yet at the same time really liked the staying at home thing. Yeah, it's 10 p.m. Do you know it was so bad that the government had to make public service announcements that said it's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are? This was a thing. The state had to tell our parents to go fucking find your kids. And you know what's funny? My dad was never home because he was working all the time. So he didn't know what we were doing. My mom, on the other hand, was a stay-at-home mom. She was at home. And I don't know how she didn't have anxiety about us, because I would be out at like 6 years old with my 3-year-old neighbor and walking her 2 blocks to the park. 6 and 3. 6 and 3. I was in charge of her, and like we were and no one was watching us. It was wonderful. But I don't know how my mom did it, because when I became a mom, I couldn't I could not let my 6-year-old out alone in the neighborhood with a 3-year-old. There's no way. But of course everything changed. People changed, the people's views on child safety changed, and it even affected me. But boy, was it great. It was great. It was great for kids. It was great. We had so much freedom and so much autonomy, and never sat around looking at screens. We would get our Friday night show for 30 minutes that we got to pick out from the TV guide. I got a half an hour of TV a day. That's it. And there wasn't anything on anyway. There were 5 channels or whatever. It was fan-frickin-tastic. It's because your mom had shit to do and you weren't involved. You know, I want to think that the neighbors communicated with each other. Like the moms probably called each other and were like, they're in my backyard now, you know? But I don't know if they did. I need to ask my mom, because when I became a mom, she was like even worse than me with the helicoptering. And I used to say to her, like, but Mom, you used to let me run wild when I was like 6. Like you weren't, I mean, she was a great mom, a great mom. Hey, 80s babes, just signed up on Locals. Welcome. So glad to see you in the chat. This is the daily live chat. Make sure that you log into the daily live chat every day. That's where all the action is, and it's so much fun. It looks like most of you are Generation X, and a lot of you are Generation X. That's fun. I'm glad. And millennials. I have some millennials and a couple of boomers, but mostly Generation X. That doesn't surprise me, because I feel like the Generation X people are the people who truly understand me. You truly get me. And some of the older millennials are like that too. Oh, Brad, why is this not a poll? You're absolutely right. I'm making a poll right now. I don't know how we got onto this discussion. Oh, it was me saying I'm old. But I do love talking about Generation X. I love talking about my childhood because it was pretty awesome. Let's see. Gen X, millennial. And millennials are funny because you have 2 categories. You have young millennials and you have old millennials, older millennials. That's not old. And they're totally different. The older millennials are more like Gen X. Younger millennials are more skewing towards Gen Z. There we go. All right, there's your poll. I actually split millennials into 2 groups, but it's because they're so big that the generation is kind of different. Not everybody in there is similar. They have different experiences. Older millennials, for instance, would remember a time before technology, or really a time before technology was everything. You know, younger millennials don't, and I think that's a big difference between how we see things. You're a medium Flux. You're a medium millennial. What year were you born? What is me? What? See, the cutoff for Gen X is born in either 79 or 80, and then anybody born after 80 is a millennial. Yeah, older millennials would remember Maury. What about ripping your skin off on a hot metal slide? Yep, we talked about that. My husband fell off the top of one of those slides directly on his face, and guess what was on the what was on the ground? Concrete. No, today there's like these soft rubber things, like rubber. Like, have you ever seen the wood chips? But they're not wood chips; they're made out of rubber. So when you fall on them, you like bounce. Back then, we had our playgrounds over cement. Man, we're just tougher, I think. Yeah, he fell right on his face on cement. Big injury there. All right, Locals is giving me generational memes. This is fun. What is this? Let's bring this up. It says baby boomers born 1946 to 1964, raised in post-World War II resource-limited society, work-centric, conservative? I don't think so. Most boomers I know are not conservative. Gen X, born 1965 to 1980, raised in after-war but before technology society, work-life balanced, independent, very independent. I don't know about materialistic. I don't know about that. 33% of today's workforce. Gen Y millennials, born 1981 to 1996, raised in an economically stable and technologically advancing society, questioning flexible self-prioritization, growth-oriented, 35% of today's workforce. I'm actually surprised that's not a higher percentage. And then we got Gen Z through 2010, 1997 to 2010. 5% of the workforce. Yeah, interesting. All right, so far the poll says 49% of you are Generation X. I knew it. I felt it. I know why I feel you people. I feel like I know why we connect so well. Wait, what did I just do on X? I forgot. I accidentally stopped sharing. Hold on. Oh, hold please while I fix my technical problems. I'm a Gen X with boomer tech skills. I think I'm losing my voice again, which is not good. JC Chappie says only materialistic when it comes to our Nirvana and Green Day band shirts. All right. How's Rumble doing? Are you guys answering on Rumble? It looks like Rumble's not answering my question. They're not telling me. I only had 2 people respond to what generation they are. Okay, let's move on. Oh, don't do the spinning thing, YouTube. Don't do that.
She's had so many at this point that have just dropped her, and new ones dropped, and so they were like, you need to comply and do the paternity test. I said, yeah, absolutely. I said, you need to make sure that your client complies, because it's not me, it's her that's not going to do it. And they're like, well, if you don't do it, you're going to be. I was like, you're going to be in trouble. I said, okay, I'll do it. I'm not the problem here. Your client is. So like, and I was getting a little fired up at these lawyers because I.
Muted boomer. Good. You should get fired up at the lawyers, because the fact that those lawyers did no investigation into their client and went after this guy is really, it's negligent. Okay. Let's move on. 49. There was something in here I wanted to talk about.
Like that.
Yeah, so the 27th of February will be when we go into the court and we present our evidence, mine versus hers. So, this could all be solved if she would just own up to it, but she won't. And again, I said this on a previous podcast, and I'll say it again. I know she's going to listen to this because she listens to everything I put out. I don't want her to be cyberbullied. I don't want her to I don't want people to take her down. So also anyone that listens to this, please don't go after this individual and attack her.
I want to know what that means. I mean, I don't want that. It is not cyberbullying to take down a liar. It is not cyberbullying to expose a liar for what she is. And so I kind of am uncomfortable with this categorization of I don't want anyone to go after her. Oh, yeah, the podcast host. Look how small he is. His feet don't reach the floor. He looks like a little kid. It's funny. I mean, if he's talking about individuals who do not have news shows like mine, like just if he's talking about Redditors, or whatever, like, no one should be contacting her. No one should be emailing her or whatever. But yeah, merely disagreeing with her is attacking. Like Clayton, you wouldn't be in the situation, and the truth would not be exposed right now unless people like me and Dave Neal and those Redditors went after her. You wouldn't be in this position where people are now listening to you. You would still be the subject of hit media pieces instead of the media now finally coming around. So be careful and don't play into her narrative that anyone is cyberbullying her, because no one is doing that. To my knowledge, she's not being this is not cyberbullying. This is reporting the news. You are a news story. And Laura Owens, whether she likes it or not, is the subject of a news investigation. So I'm just uncomfortable with the wording, because I'm not sure what he means by that. I'm not sure. I think that we should go after her and I don't mean you know what I mean. I mean, we need to go after what she has done here, get to the bottom of it, expose the truth, and books should be written. Lessons should be learned. Well, that's true. I mean, somebody might be cyberbullying her, I guess, but I mean, well, then, that shouldn't be happening. And yeah, it's not cyberbullying. There are public consequences for unreputable behavior. Exactly. Yeah, I think she's the bully too. She's been bullying men for a long time, and she needs to learn a lesson here, and that is that you can't do that to people and get away with it. The court system's been allowing her to abuse it. All these things that they've been enabling her to do this. Did I get my FOIA back from the police? Yes, and I did a whole stream on it. So King Bob, you'll have to go back and watch that. All right.
I'm not an advocate for that. Okay. I am an advocate for mental health, but I'm also an advocate for accountability and justice. And at this point, she is.
Okay. Remember him saying that. He's an advocate for accountability and justice. Okay, good.
Caused so much damage to my mental health. She's caused damage to my pocketbook. She has tried to just take everything from me.
This portion of today's episode is brought to you by Sir.
Skipping ahead. Come on. I can't believe we started out so good, YouTube. I thought we were going to have a good day.
I made this whole thing up. I was in a bad spot mentally. I need help, and I'm going to go seek help. I would not pursue her legally. I would let it go. But she needs to take accountability. Mm-hmm. She needs to clear my name, because if she's not going to, I will clear my name. And that's where I'm at right now, is with this court, with them scheduling an evidentiary hearing. It's a matter of time. If they wanted to dismiss the case, they would have dismissed it. So she has no choice but to either accept accountability, or I'm going to get findings to prove that she made the whole thing up, and she can just keep lying, but she's going to face the repercussions. I gave her an out early on. Mm-hmm. I never mentioned this. There's so many facts to this whole story. I wrote up a contract, because she would send me these dating contracts, basically saying, if you date me, I will not go public. And then we can go ahead and I will close the court case, and we can figure this out behind closed doors. So she created a dating contract.
Was there an NDA or some sort?
She created an NDA, sent it over to me. And so I was like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not signing that.
A little NDA to say,
yes,
hey.
She created legal documents. Okay. So what I did, I go, okay, I'll play your game. So I sent back to her the draft that I created. And I said, if you right now admit that you've made this entire thing up, I signed already on this document, as you can see. If you sign it stating you were never pregnant with my children, I will let this go, and I will never, ever talk about it ever again. I won't pursue you legally. I will let this go and act as though it never happened. I gave her that out about 2-3 months ago.
Does that still stand? Like, will you allow her to sign that even today?
No, it's too late now.
Oh, it's too late.
It's too late. She went public, and so now, like, I need her to take accountability and admit that she lied, so that I can be exonerated. But before it came out, I gave her an out, And I said, and then she said, absolutely not. I'm not signing that because I am pregnant with your children. And I followed up. I said, this is the last time I'm going to offer this to you. You have an out right now. You should take this because I'm not going to offer it anymore. She wouldn't do it. And I know now. I'm like, yeah, I bet you really wish you'd have signed that because I gave her an out. I wanted to move on from it. I really did not.
Look, Dave, Neil, if you're listening and you're looking for a couch, I know they're looking for a couch. Don't buy one that your legs dangle off the edge like this. Now, and since that's been said, I can't pay attention to anything else. So, Dave, when you're looking for a couch, don't get one that's so big your feet don't hit the floor. This is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. He looks ridiculous. He looks ridiculous on that sofa. He doesn't look tall enough to ride the ride. You think they would put a closer camera angle so we don't see that? No, Dave is not in LA. Dave signed his thing. He signed a settlement with Laura Owens. She's apparently dropped the harassment charge in exchange for Dave signing a thing that said he would not encourage people to commit physical violence against her, which is so insane because he's never done that. Melanie says, I was really frustrated by this interview. I felt like he was just saying things, but really hasn't emotionally dealt with this yet. He's just talking positive. Well, I do think that maybe that's just how he can deal with it. But I hope he talked to his lawyers about the possible ramifications of this being used against him, if he does go after her for defamation. And he really should. I hope he does. I really hope he does. He's pocket-sized. No shade against short kings, okay? Short kings deserve to be loved. And this dude he has a wife and kids, I think. He was talking about a baby monitor earlier. So, yeah, and he's got the pillows behind him, too. All right, I got to be quiet before I get in trouble for attacking someone for being short. I'm going to get canceled for saying something about this guy's feet not touching the floor now. We can't make jokes anymore. Jokes are not allowed.
Want to make this about me. I didn't want to use it for sympathy. I didn't want to take it and then go do a mental health, talk and be this I was in this situation with this person. I wanted to just drop it.
What sucks about this whole situation too, and I've heard you say this on other podcasts as well, but it's almost like this one individual almost is hurting other individuals that actually have a legitimate case of them getting pregnant and them trying to hold the man accountable that got them pregnant. And it's just so sad that this is happening to you and that it's almost damaging, damaging what can happen to women who are in legitimate circumstances where they do get pregnant. And it's so sad to see.
There's a delicate matter because right now, I think the reason why this story isn't
all right, here we go.
As much attention.
Are you ready? Are you ready for the backhanded insults coming our direction? Are you ready? Let's back up a little bit.
Because right now, I think the reason why this story isn't getting as much attention as what it could be is because as I was told by a state representative, I spoke with them and said,
of course. YouTube, stop it.
I just want this individual to be held accountable. How likely do you think that the court will?
Seriously? All right, hold on.
Pursue them and impose charges upon them and possibly jail time. And this individual said, and highly unlikely.
Oh, this is really going to frustrate me. How low do I need to go here? I'm having broadband problems or something. Hold on a second. Let me close down some windows. I'll close down the YouTube studio. That will probably help. All right, let's try this again. because this is really important.
Because this would potentially then deter future actual victims from coming forward and sharing their story.
Do you hear this? So he actually talked to law enforcement and court officials about this. Like, what are the chances you can go after this person for, I don't know, perjury, filing false petitions, all of these things that we say are illegal? And the answer was very little, because it will discourage real victims from coming forward. How? Will someone please explain to me how it discourages real victims from coming forward? If you aren't lying, then you have nothing to worry about. You don't have to worry about being prosecuted for perjury if you're not lying. I mean, this is maddening. This is how powerful the #MeToo movement was, that it actually created a situation where law enforcement can't go after actual perjurers. And so guys like Clayton, who have had their lives dragged through hell, can't get any justice on the off chance that some real victim out there won't come forward. That's ridiculous. Our system is screwed up if that is what they are doing. It's totally screwed up.
Because the fear would be, if the court doesn't believe me, they'll prosecute me. And so because of that, I don't know if the court's going to impose sanctions upon this individual because they don't want to deter actual victims. And that's challenging, because I do believe that we should believe women, but I also believe that we should believe, people.
See, he's trying to have his cake and eat it too. He wants to stay on the good side of the woke believe women narrative that is ridiculous, while at the same time saying we need to believe people. Clayton, the phrase you're looking for is you need to believe evidence. And buy the book, because evidence is the only thing we should be believing in a court of law when it comes to allegations. It's the evidence. And to say that you still believe women, well, it depends on which women. If you believe a woman who has a ton of evidence behind her, then good for you. You're believing the right person. But if you just want to believe a woman because she has breasts and a vagina, that makes no sense. It just doesn't make any sense. People are people. People are inherently flawed. And it has nothing to do with their reproductive organs. Absolutely nothing to do with their reproductive organs. It's about their life choices. It's about what they do. It's about what they bring into the world. It has nothing to do with the fact that they're women or not. And men can be victims too, as you well know, Clayton, because you are one and you know all these victims. You know other male victims who have come forward to you. And what he's about to say here is just absolutely insane.
Right? Like and just wait for the truth to come out, wait for all the facts to come out before you make a judgment. But this is a very sensitive subject matter, because yes, there are people that have listened to the story, and some of the extremists are saying this is why we shouldn't believe women.
Oh, ouch. Am I the extremist that you are referencing there, Clayton? Am I the extremist to say, because I think the blanket statement, believe women, is dangerous, as you have proof? I'm the extremist, I think. I think I'm the extremist, because I don't know anybody else talking about this who has said or who has written a book about why we can't believe women. A blanket believe women. Chat says, no, I don't think so. I hope I'm not the extremist you are referencing here, because I haven't heard anybody else talking about that. What extremists? Juanetta Gibson, by the way. So in my book, this just started making its rounds around on Twitter, like it's a new case. But the story of Juanetta Gibson is in my book. And for some reason, everybody is talking about it on Twitter right now, but it happened several years ago. Here it is. It happened several years ago, but it was I wrote about it in my book. Winetta Gibson is another. This is actually a very similar story to Clayton's. There was an up and coming football star that this was done to, a black man. IT Goatee says, I think he's speaking from the woke perspective, generally not talking about you. I don't know. It felt personal. I took that personally, Clayton. I took it personally because I think I'm the only one out there talking about this case in this context, in the context of how dangerous the Me Too movement is and how dangerous this Believe Women moniker can be. Yeah, Stockholm syndrome is what I thought of at first. It's like you've been totally abused by this woman. You have found all these other victims who have also been abused by her, and you still want to sit there and say, we should believe women. What? You still haven't learned your damn lesson? You still haven't learned your lesson. I understand that he's trying not to be bitter. I get it. But he was going down the right road there, saying we need to wait for all the evidence. We need to wait for the facts to come out before we make these blanket decisions. And I agree with that totally. That's exactly what my book is about. It's about not believing allegations from one side automatically based on genitals. What did he just say? Oh, okay. You guys want to hear it again? Yeah, thank you. Day says he was definitely talking about Megan Fox. There's nobody else it could be. There's nobody else talking about this case in the context that I am talking about it. And so if Clayton wants to call me an extremist, I've been called worse. Okay. I've been called worse, but Clayton, I'm not an extremist. I am a realist. I'm here to help you. I'm here to show you that this ideology that you guys are hanging on to, it's dangerous, and it's why you were attacked. It's why she was successful in doing this. It's because you have been brainwashed, and so has everybody else, including the media that she went to, the Sun, and all those people that defamed you. They have all been brainwashed into this woke, I don't even know what you call it, this woke ideology that forces you to believe something that your eyes can see is clearly not true. Clearly not true. And yeah, pull your head out of your ass. You have been attacked unfairly by a woman who is an abuser. She has abused you for months on end. She has abused other people, and you still want to sit there and say we should believe women. Stop it. Stop it. You could do a lot of good for other people by saying, you know what? Of course, we should believe victims. Believe victims. And victims come in all genders. Ask Johnny Depp. Victims come in male and female, and I'm a victim of female abuse. Stop it. Stop this. So I wanted to point out, and we'll go back and we'll listen to that again in a second, but I do want to show you why, just one more example, why believing women can destroy a man's life. As if you don't know this already, Clayton, because you lived it. You should know it. You should know it. Hold on. What's his name? The guy's name was Brian Banks. So I don't know why this is going around right now, but it is. And everybody's talking about it, even though this is an old case. And I even wrote about it in my book, but since it's getting some play right now, let me make this bigger. I want you to kind of hear about it because this case is important.
Banks get. I did not know nothing about sex. So.
You're watching never-before-aired video of Juanetta Gibson and Brian Banks in the minutes before her stunning confession that she lied when she said the high school football star raped her 10 years ago.
This camera right here was in a plant.
This is the man who helped Banks get the now famous confession on hidden camera. Private investigator Freddie Parrish.
Seriously, now Twitter's doing it? Brad, I need to call Spectrum. I'm getting so sick of this. Come on. Are you serious? This is going to piss me off. All right, I have some super chats to go over while this is spinning. Mazza, thanks for the super chat. OMG, jurors should have spoken like Sesame Street. Oh, I got that one. The Sesame Street Dracula. All right. Ellen, the crazy thing is the host, Matt Howard, is tall. It's just a bad couch, and Clayton is huge. Is that true? Megan, send him a signed copy of your book. I should get his address and do that. Yeah, I should do that. Yeah, Laura Owens has already sent Dave Neal an email, by the way, which he sent directly to spam. That's the first time she sent him an email in months. So I'm a little concerned that his settlement with her did not get the desired result, which was to never hear from her again. Why are we spinning like this?
I did not know nothing about.
Nope, it's not going to let me play it. What is happening, Twitter? Let's try this one.
26-year-old Brian.
Nope, nothing is working for me. Absolutely nothing is working. All right, it doesn't matter. The point is, I have written about it in my book, Juanetta Gibson. I'll read you a little bit of what happened because it's only 2 pages. It's only a 2-page chapter. So why don't I just read? Gather round, children. It's story time. It's story time. Let's read Clayton a little story. Brian Banks was a rising football star at age 17 when his life was abruptly flushed down the toilet by a double-crossing tramp. Banks had been on his way to the high school guidance counselor's office to talk about college when he bumped into Juanetta Gibson and took a detour with her under a stairwell for a little kissing. According to Gibson, he dragged her under the stairs and raped her. Despite no physical evidence of rape, Banks' lawyer advised him to plead no contest, probably because the lawyer was lazy and didn't want to do any real work. Banks expected to get no more than 18 months, but caught a judge in a bad mood who sentenced him to 6 years. Banks had always dreamed of being in the NFL. After his sentencing and false imprisonment, he never gave up on his dream and continued to train. He served all 6 years. Meanwhile, Gibson sued the school district for her rape and won a $1.5 million settlement. Fortunately for Banks, she was dumb enough to friend him on Facebook after he got out of prison and admitted to lying. He got her on camera, confessing that she lied, but she would not agree to tell the prosecutor for fear of losing her payout. After showing that recording to prosecutors, Banks was exonerated. Unlike most other falsely accused men, Banks' story has a happy ending. In 2013, Banks was signed with the Atlanta Falcons, and his dream of playing in the NFL came true. He only got to play in 4 games before being released, but he was then hired by the NFL to work in their Department of Operations. Around the same time, the school district sued Gibson and won a $2.6 million judgment. It's one of the rare examples when justice stepped in and won the day. If only all lying vixens face the same sort of consequences. I can't believe that a person who this has been done to can turn around and continue to say, we should believe women. And extremists are using this to say we can't believe women. Well, which women, Clayton? Don't you see that you still don't see? You still haven't figured it out. I just can't. I do not understand this. I do not understand how you get to this point.
For future actual victims from coming forward and sharing their story, because the fear would be if the court doesn't believe me, they'll prosecute me. And so because of that, I don't know if the court's going to impose sanctions upon this individual because they don't want to deter actual victims. And that's challenging because I do believe that we should believe women, but I also believe that we should believe, people, right? Like and just wait for the truth to come out, wait for all the facts to come out before you make a judgment. But this is a very sensitive subject matter because yes, there are people that have listened to the story, and some of the extremists are saying this is why we shouldn't believe women. I don't believe that. I don't condone that thought process. I'm like, no, this is a very rare case. I will say this, since this has happened to me, I've had many people come forward and tell me that this has happened to them or they know somebody.
Well, I'm sure it's super.
It's so rare. It's so rare that he's had many people come forward to him to tell him that it happened to them. Clayton, that would mean that it's not that rare. It's just not reported. We just don't hear about it because the people who it happens to happen to not be famous. This idea that false allegations against men are rare, that is not true. It's just not reported. And there's no way to know how rare it is, but it can't be that rare, Clayton, if all these people came forward to you. This one lady alone did it 5 times, Zoe, not 3 times, at least 5 now. And there are more coming forward all the time. Dave Neal's got another one who's going to be speaking out soon. I mean, it's not rare. And I know they want to believe that it is, but I have been covering family court and custody and awful battles for a really long time. And women lie. Many women lie. And so do men to get what they want. People will lie. So you cannot ascribe goodness to someone based on their sex. Yeah, the reporting is rare, not the actual false allegations. He's not medium smart. Let's just put it that way. And I'm sorry for that because, wait, what? Rogue Mama, I don't think I understand what you're saying. You said this case has nothing to do with rape victims, so saying they won't sanction her is a bad analogy. Well, it kind of does, because she accused people of rape. She accused Greg Woodnick, Greg Gillespie's and Clayton's lawyer of rape, of kidnapping and rape. She is one of these false accusers that would go that far, because she has gone that far. They're just lucky that nobody believed her. So, I mean, I was checking out the chat. I'm disappointed in Clayton. I mean, but dude, wake up, grow up. It is clearly not rare when you've got this one woman who has done this to so many men. How many other men do you think are out there who haven't come forward? And you know damn well from experience, you feel embarrassed to come forward. And the only reason why you did was because you had no other choice. Yeah, a bunch of other victims have never come forward because it's too embarrassing, or they know they won't get anywhere and no one's going to pay attention to their stories because they're not famous. Oh, well, yeah, I don't know. All right, let's keep going. Oh. Please hold for YouTube to get its shit together. Maybe I have to shut down Locals for a minute. All right, Locals, I'm shutting you down.
Super embarrassing. If this happens to you, I'm sure you just want to run away and never talk about it and just be done with it. You probably don't want to make it like you're already a public person.
God darn it. This is so frustrating. I'll read some chats while we're waiting for this. Oh, Brad, I don't have to let you on. Just get in here. Where are you?
person, you're a public figure. So you have to, in a way, clear your name and clear your character with the situation. But I can just think about a normal person that's not on social media, not in the media at all. They probably just want to be done with it. They probably don't want to pursue legal action. They probably just want to forget that it ever happened and not let it take any more of their life away from them.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I don't want, for me, I just want to move on. Yeah, I didn't want to experience any of this. Now I found the silver lining in this whole situation. So again, the lessons that I've learned have made me a better human being, and I can now relate to more people, and I can, practice patience, and I can be more present, and I can just allow life to go and stop trying to control so much, and just focus on what I can control. So I've gotten what I need to out of this. Essentially, at this point, I'm like, please, just like stop. Please do what's right and just accept. It's okay. We all make mistakes, and I can forgive her, and I will forgive her eventually.
This is not a mistake. It was not a mistake. And I don't think that she's going to ever own up to what she did. It's not a mistake. She did this purposefully. She did it maliciously and intentionally. And it's not a mistake. Absolutely not a mistake. Oh, team viewer. Okay. Sorry, Goatee. Okay. Here you go. I will open it up. But I gotta send you the, yeah. Okay, I gotta send you the code. All right, hold on. Hold, please. IT Goatee is entering the computer. Okay, sending you a text, Brad. The heck? Well, now my iPhone's not working. I can't forward you the the code. That is so weird. That was bizarre. Okay, there you go. All right. Well, then that means you're going to take control of the mouse too.
I'm ready to, because at the end of the day, harboring resentment only hurts me. It doesn't hurt her.
Who are these other individuals that were also?
Oh, here we go again. Brad's here. Brad's on the computer now. He has control of my mouse. I don't know what he's doing. Diagnosing a network problem. Thank God for Brad. Something's wrong. What is it, Brad? I don't know, but he's doing all kinds of weird stuff.
Targeted and went through a similar situation to you. You said one also is in Arizona. Is the other person? Yeah. Hang on one second, guys. Hold on. in a different state of some sort? Like, was it very similar situations? Were they very different? I mean,
yeah,
I don't know what you're able to share, but I'm so curious who these other people are.
It's all out there.
I mean,
yeah,
I don't know what you're able to share, but I'm so curious who. These other people are.
It's all out there, and again, it's all publicly accessible. So everything I've said is there's nothing that I'm speculating on, and what I have said is my opinion is my opinion. So again, I have a right to an opinion. But the previous guy, she said that she was pregnant with his twin.
All right, listen, I got to get going because I've got a situation here at home that needs my attention, and Fairy's had a bad day, so I'm going to go and hang out with her for a little bit. If I can calm that situation down, we will be doing a members only live and a locals members only to work on some podcast stuff. But I do have to get going right now because kids are first. So love you guys. Take care. And I'll be back maybe later. If not, maybe tonight. We'll see. Just pay attention to meganfox.locals.com and you will find out if I'm going to be going live. Okay. So I will see you guys later. All right. Just pay attention. Stay in the live chat on Locals and I'll keep you updated. Okay. All right. See ya.
I was so lost. My world is near its end. I almost felt my head is full of a million choices. I am alive. I'm not here to pretend. Friends, my heart is filled with a million voices. Oh, this road has many choices. Oh, and my heart, a million voices. Come next to me, my friend, embrace the sky. I'm not afraid to fly. It's not the time to say goodbye. I don't wanna say goodbye. I'm not here to pretend. I love my friends, my heart is filled with a million voices. Oh, this road has many choices. And my heart, a million voices. Come next to me, my friend, embrace the sky. I'm not afraid to fly. It's not the time to say goodbye.